and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the part 2 of the new Southern Policy Cluster. In the next 90 minutes or so, we'll be focusing on the economic aspects of this initiative. Titled Economic Aspects of New Southern Policy, Achievements and Challenges. And before we begin, if I could kindly ask everyone to turn off their phones just for a while. My name is Julie Yu. I am a news presenter with CNA. It's a regional channel based in Singapore, but I'm a South Korean, and that means I've been closely following up on the new Southern policy since its proclamation back in November 2017, if I'm correct. And it's clear that the incumbent administration has been aggressively and actively pushing to elevate its relations to 10 ASEAN countries as well as India, with the aim of widening its diplomatic horizon, and by doing so, reducing its reliance on the major powers like the US, China, Japan, and Russia. Now, it's still early days in the initiative, but we've seen efforts to translate rhetoric into reality. President Moon has been traveling to at least 6 countries in the span of a year and a half. And also, he launched a special committee under the Blue House to look after and oversee this initiative. And also, he allocated some 2.2 billion Korean won for just this year to support the policy drive. Now, that's up nearly 40% compared to last year. So South Korea's interest in Southeast Asia is nothing new. As you can tell from the fact that Southeast Asia is the 2nd largest trading partner after China. It's the 3rd largest investment destination after US and the EU, and also the most popular tourist destination. So key question is, what must be done to make sure the new Southern policy doesn't end up being redundant? Now, earlier in the session, one of the panelists, I believe it was Ambassador Balihari, he mentioned and asked this very interesting question: what is new about new Southern policy? Also, the other question that we could ask is, can it actually add value to all the respective stakeholders involved? How is it being viewed by ASEAN countries? And also, what are some of the opportunities and challenges, especially at a time when globalization and multilateralism is being seriously challenged by protectionism and anti-globalization sentiment? I think it's an opportune time to look into these questions, especially this year marking the 30th anniversary of Korea-ASEAN diplomatic ties, and also later this year we are expecting some major events, including the Korea-ASEAN Summit, one between Seoul and the ASEAN countries of the Mekong region as well. Now, mark your calendars, it's November in Busan. All right, so today I'm very thrilled to be joined by an esteemed panel of guests and panelists, experts here who will be sharing their insight with us, what promises to be a very active and also fruitful discussion. All right, before we kick off this conversation, we are deeply honored, ladies and gentlemen, to have with us a Secretary General of ASEAN, Mr. Lim Jo-hoi, who will be delivering the keynote speech for us. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Lim.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to be back in Jeju. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Governor of Jeju Province for the warm welcome and hospitality. As we gather here today, the global economies continue to remain unsettled. Uncertainty arising from increasing trade tension, Brexit, and tight global financial conditions persist. To be sure, these will have serious implications in our region because of increased interdependence of our economies. If not managed well, an unsettled global economy can lead to economic instability and even political conflicts and social unrest, thus undermining economic prosperity and peace in the process. As we all know, peace and prosperity are highly intertwined. Peace is a necessary condition to sustain trade, economic growth, and prosperity. Without peace, there can be no economic development, no freedom to explore economic activity, and no hope to pursue aspirations. This reminds me of the work that Jeju Forum has been trying to achieve for decades now. By promoting a dialogue of peace in the region, the Forum has created the pathway for economic and political stability in East Asia through open discussion, effective engagement, and collective action in cooperation for people, peace, and the region. The fact that we are here today signifies such unwavering commitment to pursue peace, prosperity in the region. I think the same sense of cooperation and desire to maintain regional peace and stability underpins our work in ASEAN and East Asia. More than 20 years ago, our region stood at the edge of the catastrophe. ASEAN financial crisis saw the collapse of economic activity and provoked political upheaval and social conflicts in some countries. But the crisis also saw countries coming together to face common challenges with common solutions. In the face of the crisis, East Asian, together ASEAN, has evolved and helped plant the seeds of economic and political stability in East Asia. The Manila Declaration on the 20th anniversary of the ASEAN Plus 3 cooperation reaffirmed the important role of the ASEAN Plus 3 for peace, security, and prosperity in the East Asian region. Today, we are very happy to enjoy the fruits of the unprecedented degrees of cooperation that we have in ASEAN as well in East Asia. For example, the East Asian Vision Groups 2 laid out a comprehensive step-by-step recommendation on how to make the region more peaceful and stronger by allowing ASEAN to work with China, Japan, Korea, all within the centrality of ASEAN. More recently, ASEAN served as an honest broker by hosting first and second US and North Korea summits. Both summits speaks volumes of the geopolitical importance of ASEAN to Korea and vice versa. The choice of the location in the capital of ASEAN member state demonstrates the importance attached to the ASEAN by Democratic People's Republic of Korea too. East Asia has been successful in addressing non-traditional issues such as trafficking in person, cybercrime, and illicit drug trafficking, as well as in playing the important role of other institutional mechanisms such as ASEAN Regional Forum and East Asia Summit. In the economic front, the Chiang Mai Initiative of Multilateralization, CMIM, was established as the very first regional financial support mechanism in Asia and served as a reminder to the world on how far East Asia has gone in preserving our economic and financial stability in the Asian financial crisis, since the financial crisis. Trade and investment linkages have been intensified, facilitated by the regional production network of East Asia, as well as the various bilateral regional free trade arrangements with China, Japan, of course, with Korea. We are now pursuing a very important mega FTA, which we call Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is a very important initiative of ASEAN-led mechanism, and we hope that we will be able to come to a resolution by this year. Cooperation in addressing social issues has also been successful, particularly in agriculture, food security, energy, health, science and technology, and these disasters management. To be sure, the stability and peace that we are currently enjoying in East Asia is no mere accident. It is no such luck either. In my view, it's a product of bold and deliberate decision taken by our leaders and policymakers to cooperate and move together as they venture into lots of uncertainty. The spirit of cooperation has made East Asia more dynamic and resilient over the years. I believe that if country comes together to work upon common goals, peace, stability and growth will prevail. Reflecting on this development, I think East Asia will be a different region today had it not been for countries willing to work together and cooperate together. And that's why I'm happy to see new initiatives such as Korea New Southern Policy that sustain the momentum for greater cooperation in the region. The new Southern Policy is not only an opportunity for ASEAN and Korea to deepen its engagement in peace, prosperity, and people-to-people connectivity, but also, but more than that, it is a critical building block on a pathway to integration and peace in East Asia in the long run. Thus, I look forward to seeing more concrete projects and activities to be implemented under the new Southern Policy in the coming years. Without a doubt, Korea New Southern Policy can have a positive impact on ASEAN, and ASEAN stands ready to support it. It also comes at the most opportune time as ASEAN and Korea mark their 30th anniversary and strong partnership at the commemorative summit to be held this year in November. While cooperation is a key to regional prosperity and peace, the challenge is how to sustain it in the midst of the various uncertainty that confront the world and the region. It is in the atmosphere of peace, fear and uncertainty, countries may be tempted to go their way. Thus, having countries adhere to cooperative approach is critical. But how can we do this, and how can we achieve it? In my view, there are three ways in which the spirit of cooperation and prosperity in ASEAN and East Asia can be preserved. First is through regional integration. Integration unleashes economic opportunities and brings countries and people together, thus reducing the possibility of conflicts. It also promotes economic security and prosperity for the region. But without peace, such economic development is not possible. This reminds me of our community building efforts in ASEAN. In the process of building an integrated community, our goal is not only to build the market, but also to make sure that those markets create inclusion and opportunity for all. Second, we need a strong community of people to plant the seeds of peace and hope in our region. I always believe in the power of humanity to change the world and for every individual to make positive contribution in society. Ethnic, religious, and civil strife can be avoided if only people are able to understand each other more. This is a very important, the third pillar of the Southern Policy, and also the third pillar of ASEAN's social cultural enhancement. That's why I put a lot of hope in people-to-people connectivity as an important mechanism to foster peace in the region through various initiatives such as educational exchanges, knowledge sharing, human capital development. It is an integral part of ASEAN community, and I'm glad that it is also constitute an important pillar of the Southern policy. Finally, we need to build multilateralism. In today's highly integrated world, global collective interest is critical to ensuring stability and peace across regions and countries. Any breakdown of global order and rule is definitely devastating, have consequences to all of us. Thus, amid rising trade tensions in the world, country has to stand firm and commit multilateral approach to achieve a stable global and regional trading system. We need to break down barriers and not build walls. In closing, let me emphasize again the importance of respect and tolerance in supporting the development in the world today. And this is where the Southern policy of South Korea as well as ASEAN has an important to play in order to develop the tolerance and as well as understanding among the people. It's shown by ASEAN as well as East Asia as well as Southern policy. Achieving this is not accidental. It takes commitment and resolve by country to make it happen. Against the current uncertainty, now is the time to rise to the challenge again. Our peace and prosperity in the regions depends on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lim, for setting the scene for us and also pointing to some very valid points. I wrote down regional integration, strong community of people. You've underscored the power of humanity as well as multilateralism. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce our illustrious panelists. First of all, we are honored to have with us Ambassador Delia Domingo Albert, a former Secretary of Foreign Affairs of the Philippines. She's also the Senior Advisor of Ernst Young in the Philippines. So she was in office since the birth of ASEAN back in 1967, and I'm sure we'll be very interested to tap into her deep knowledge and expertise when it comes to ASEAN. Next, we are joined by Mr. Sok Tush, President of the Royal Academy of Cambodia. Mr. Sok was actually one of the representatives that was signed an MOU with his Korean counterpart during President Moon Jae-in's state visit to Cambodia earlier this year. We'll be very interested to see what he has to say. Next, of course, we'd like to welcome Mr. Narit Tuasa Tirasak. Did I say that right? Yeah, I practiced. Deputy Secretary General of the Board of Investment in Thailand. And we look forward to getting his insight in the business as well as economic scene in the country. Now, of course, from the South Korean point of view, I'd like to welcome Secretary General of the ASEAN Korea Center, Mr. Ambassador Lee Hyuk. He's a career diplomat who served as an ambassador to Vietnam and the Philippines as well. And his organization, AKC, is an intergovernmental organization to promote cooperation and exchanges between the two sides. And it is celebrating the 10th anniversary this year. Congratulations. And last but not least, we have the presence of Mr. Choi Sung-jin, CEO of Korea Startup Forum. Of course, startup scene both in Korea and ASEAN has been extremely vibrant, and can't wait to hear what he has to add to this discussion as well. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start by asking each of our panelists here to make their opening remarks, hopefully no longer than 10 minutes, so that we could allocate some more time for question and discussion later in the panel. So yes, Ambassador Albert, if you could start for us.
Thank you.
Would you like to press the button?
Thank you, Julie. I thought you were from Singapore.
Living in Singapore.
Anyway, I'm delighted to be here, and you have heard quite a number of discussions on ASEAN. ASEAN as an organization, ASEAN as a vibrant group of countries in Southeast Asia. We used to call it the Association of Energetic and Ambitious Nations. I have to say that because that's how we started in the late 60s when ASEAN was born. There was definitely a great feeling that with all the problems that faced the countries in ASEAN bilaterally, we agreed to settle and be one as an organization. But let me be a little local. We keep talking about ASEAN and ASEAN Korea. What does it really mean to one ASEAN member country? And I'm just going to focus on what ASEAN-Korea relations in terms of the Philippine experience. Why? Because Philippines is the oldest partner of Korea in the ASEAN region. We started our diplomatic relations in March of 1959. So we go back a long, long way. And this comes right after the end of the Korean War, where the Philippines, of course, participated and has become a very strong bond between Korea and the Philippines. For a bilateral relation of 70 years means there has been quite a bit of traffic going on between the two countries. And economically, I think with all those 70 years, Korea has become the fourth largest trading partner of the Philippines out of 222 trading partners. Korea has become the second largest import supplier for the Philippines. So this is a vibrant bilateral relation in terms of what has happened in the past 70 years. This may be the time for us to take stock of how we would like to move this relationship forward in terms of the new southern policy of Korea. But it's interesting to note that even before the launching of the new southern policy of Korea, the relationship has been really most vibrant. I think someone is led to write that for the past 5 years, Korea has been a big beneficiary of its relationship with Southeast Asia. The figures attest to this. We see a great increase in not only in trade, but in terms of investments and in terms of tourism. You can only walk up and down the streets of Manila and see how many Korean restaurants are there. It's a really colonizing effect on the Philippines that sometimes you'd think you are in downtown Seoul when you see this long string of Korean restaurants. I think this is because, as I said, it's been a long-term relationship of 70 years. However, we would like to perhaps point out that there remains a certain amount of anxieties, perhaps, in terms of what's going on with our +3 partners. I think the ASEAN +3 is one of the most creative and innovative ideas of ASEAN. The equations baffle a lot of our partners not only here, but when we go to Europe, to South America, to Africa, we talk about ASEAN +1, ASEAN +3, ASEAN +6, ASEAN +8. And people say, what's all of this? It's because ASEAN has been a very open, we call it open-minded group of countries. Why? Because we ourselves are so diverse. We ourselves are very different from each other. but we believe in what we now known as an ASEAN slogan that there is unity in the diversity. To have an honest assessment of the new Southern policy, I think it is too early. I share what Bilahari was saying, that perhaps we should take a good look at it before we talk about assessments. What we appreciate are the intentions. But in terms of assessments, we have to wait to see how the impact would be on the region as a whole. This makes me think of the challenges that perhaps the new Southern policy may have to consider when they talk about having a clear-cut policy for ASEAN. We are, I think, very diverse, as I said. It's highly heterogeneous area, various levels of development across the region. Yesterday, somebody called us a middle power. I hesitate to use it because of this gaps between and among the ASEAN member countries ourselves. There remains a wide gap in terms of socioeconomic indicators, for example. So these are the things that I would like to raise with the think tanks that are looking into in the implementation of the new Southern policy. There are some countries are advanced in their social security system. Some don't have a universal health system. The disparities are still so great that perhaps a policy for ASEAN may not be a one size fits all. And this has to be taken into account when one looks at a sweeping policy for the South. The fiscal capacity also differs across ASEAN, which results that there are various levels of the capability to provide the services essential for each country's human development. We have the issue of migration, which may sometimes cause certain dislocations and social challenges in the region. There is also the incoming impact of the new wave of industrialization, of the fourth industrial revolution. So each country is in a very different level, and certainly a sweeping policy would need a very focused assessment of how this policy will actually be successful in terms of being relevant, in terms of being effective, in terms of being able to meet the aims and goals of the new policy. So that would be my initial comment to contribute to this discussion.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. A number of challenges and very interesting points there. I hope we can touch on some of them during the discussion. Can we move on to you, Mr. Suk, and share your insight on the Cambodian perspective of things?
Good afternoon, guest speaker. No, very sorry, I'm not good English language because I not speak English word by word. Not understanding about me, you can take a question. My friend can to answer about me because I'm first Khmer language, second language Russia because I'm studying Russia. Now I want discussion relations between the Korea and Cambodia. The Ministry Hun Sen, very strong man to closing the 1997. Hun Sen not to look at around the policy, foreign policy, because Cambodia relationship very, very good between China and Russia. But Cambodia, the system communist, after the communist Cambodia very closing about the company open all the foreign policy the world, but my bring to relationship very warm between the China, constant open relation with South Korea. Why? Because Cambodia to need strong economy, free economy, we need to compare another country. I want to yes, my topic very long. Now I want to the short form because it's time and the problem the language, but I word by word, you know. Now I want to show about the achievement NSP. What to make of NSP about Korea relationship with Cambodia? I want to show about that. One point about this. The point, the spreads the South Korean Korean to need the sharing, cooperation under all the ASEAN community, and only one plus India. Why? Because ASEAN the bigger market. Because the people, 500 the people. India, 1,300 the people population. ASEAN plus India, very big market. The comparing the China, the comparing European. Long ago, the Korea looked at Western and Europe. Forget ASEAN community. ASEAN, yes, the problem. ASEAN, 10 country, 10 leader, 10 structure, the politics. But ASEAN, very difficult. Europe, 28 country, one idea, one way about the politics, but ASEAN not. Yes. The problem, because second point I want to show about the ASEAN Korea trade relation, the trade cooperation, the growth. Very important about the new politics mutual, because now the problem between China and USA. USA every time about President USA first time to thinking about USA. You don't look at another country. First at the USA. Mutual, very clever. Not all the USA the Western. We have to look at the ASEAN community and India. Because Korea, diplomacy can say, very relation, very good. Very good. The Cambodia, not history. Long ago, today, not tomorrow, I don't know. But yesterday and today, relation Korea and ASEAN and India very good. Only Cambodia the same. Cambodia the same. Now with the ASEAN Korea between artificial challenges, now very important about to learn about Korea. The morning I go to everywhere between President and Aussie. I know a lot of to learn about the Korea. Green growth. Now the world climate change. To learn, to sharing experience from Korea. My country, yes, Thailand understanding the problem country. A lot of I've learned from Korea the green growth. But we need two relations very, very good from Korea now. At the The moment the Cambodia last month, very hot, 43, not raining. I see the Korea everywhere the grow, the green grow, the mountain the same. I'm very happy. I have a lot to learn from Korea. But to cooperation, to relationship between Korea, very important about the Cambodia and ASEAN community. Now, Korea support about ASEAN community, building the challenges. What are the challenges? Korea now, I want to show about that challenges. Religion, the important role. USA, the problem Middle East. The China, the problem between Muslim. I forget Xinjiang. Yes, the Xinjiang. Korea, no problem. Religion, Muslim, Buddhist, Christ, all the religion, Korea relation good. Why? What is? Because religion play important role for ASEAN community. Play important role from India. But Korea, no problem. Just welcome all. Welcome all about all religion. Sorry, I'm not good English language. All religion, but to need cooperation about that. Now the challenges between North and South Korea. Why? I believe not about the Korea and North and South. The problem between USA and China. Korea smiling or not? Not Korea at the USA. No, very sorry. I'm academy. I'm not diplomacy. I to clearly say about that. Very sorry because South and North Korea apparently Moon Jae-in very clever to put because my country have the war. 30 years internal politics in Cambodia. Hun Sen, yes, I don't care about USA, Russian, China, because internal politics tend to love Cambodia. The Korea the same. Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-il to love, not another country to playing role about the internal politics. Internal politics. Yes, what I think. Third point about challenges of cooperation important about income ASEAN national. Very important now the Korea look at ASEAN rich, not poor. CM, not C. Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar. I look at Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia. Why? Cambodia, yes, the poor country. The poor country, I know because a long time to war. The Myanmar the same. But Cambodia, a lot of natural resource. And have the rich culture in Cambodia. Korea can to playing tourists and to playing natural resource, agriculture the same as Cambodia to help can to cooperation about that. Not look at about country, the rich country. We Korea to look at Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar, the poor country. Yes, Moon Jae-in. After Moon Jae-in to signing, I signing between the NRC, a lot of project about the relation between NRC to learn about from NRC to develop the policy. Why the Korea third economic in ASEAN after China, Japan, and Korea. Third, the world four, the strong economy, the green growth. In Cambodia, a lot to learn about the Korean, the policy. Now I have a lot of the challenge. Challenges for traditional. Traditional, now the Cambodia, hip hop population about the young generation, but old generation, very difficult. Why? Because old generation have the culture not to change, because technology very difficult about the old generation. No, young generation welcome Korea. To know Korea, 3 points. Kimchi, from Korea. Hip hop from Korea. Samsung from Korea. Yes, very important about the launching the Korea in Cambodia and another country ASEAN community. Very elementary the launching about that. But the challenge about the old generation. Yeah. Now I want conclusion, because I have the time to look at me. The time I point the Korea strategy and economic partner ASEAN. Very interesting cooperation, because Korea has history, poor country, another ASEAN community can to learn what Korea can to make the grow very strong economy, the economy. ASEAN community to learn about that. Oh yes, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore very strong. I say about Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, very low. The Philippines the same. They can to learn about of Korea. Why Philippines to friendly USA? Not strong economy, have the problem. Internal the problem. To learn about the Korea. Yes. Second point, the conclusion, the Korea, the key country, reduction the geopolitics, very important ASEAN community. Geopolitics, because Korea can to play good relation with China, with USA. Example, Cambodia. Cambodia very good relationship with China and Vietnam, Thailand, but very difficult Western country, USA. Next week, ambassador USA and ambassador China to tell me about the Royal Academy, about why Cambodia relation only one the China. Why the Cambodia to give the port about the China army? Cambodia not port for China army, but USA what is that? Now the Korea can to play in the center about the problem, because good relation between China and USA, the Korea is important about that.
Mr. Stock, I'm afraid we have to move on to give our other panelists a chance to talk. Let's move on to Mr. Nayat. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, for your kind introduction. And I would like to thank Presidential Committee on New Southern Policy for inviting me to join this important forum. And today I would like to share with all of you about our investment policy that support the New Southern Policy of Korea, as well as the investment opportunities in Thailand. The New Southern Policy is very interesting and very important, not only to Korea, but also to the ASEAN region. This policy reflects how Korea places an increasing importance to this region, which is the big market, which combine a population of more than 650 million people. Okay. Regarding the investment in Thailand, Korea is one of our major investors. Since 2010, there are 374 projects from Korea applying for investment promotion from BOI with the investment value of 1.8 billion US dollar, and most of which are in the electrical and electronic industry, including the digital business, and iron and steel, service sector, such as the hotel business and the man-made tourist attraction and international trading center. And I believe that Korean investment value will certainly be increased in the future. And these are the example of Korean companies that already invest in Thailand. Some companies have already been established in Thailand for more than 30 years, like POSCO, Samsung, LG, or Hanwha. In my opinion, Korea and Thailand can complement each other in many aspects, especially in the investment aspect, which there are at least 3 factors that are responsive to the New Southern Policy. First, Thailand has a strategic location, which is favorable for trade and investment. We are located in the heart of ASEAN and Greater Mekong sub-region that have a high economic growth, and we are located near the big market like China and India. Many multinational companies of all size, from large and to SME and startup, enjoy privilege from this strategic location. And they are using Thailand as a gateway or the springboard to extend their business in ASEAN countries. Second, the targeted area for investment. As you may know that the Thai government has the flagship project to develop the eastern part of Thailand to be the Eastern Economic Corridor, or EEC, which will be the key driver of Thai economic transformation in the future. The EEC covers 3 provinces, Cha Cheong Sao, Chonburi, and Rayong, with more than 13,000 square kilometers boundary. Located in the heart of Thailand and the region, so the EEC can perfectly facilitate the investment from Korean companies wishing to base in Thailand under the New Southern Policy. And the EEC project does not start from zero. It's built on the success of the Eastern Seaboard project, which is developed for more than 30 years. Currently, the EEC is a cluster of major industry, such as the electronic, petrochemical, automotive, and there are well-developed infrastructure in the area, such as the deep sea port at Lam Chabang and Maptaput, and we have Utapao International Airport, and there are more than 30 industrial parks in the area. During the past 3 years, we received the investment promotion application in the EEC, more than 38 billion US dollar, which is about half of total investment value in Thailand. The Thai government wished to develop the EEC to be the hub of trade, industry, and tourism in the region by upgrading the transport and logistic infrastructure to meet a world-class standard. And this will be done under the public-private partnership, or PPP, such as the high-speed train that will connect 3 major airports, Don Mueang Airport and Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok to Utapao Airport in Rayong in the eastern part of Thailand. And this will be the first high-speed train in Thailand. And we also have the project to expand the capacity of Lam Chabang and Maptaput Deep Sea Port and Utapao International Airport. And we would like to develop Utapao International Airport to be Aerotropolis. Under the EEC project, there will be several special promotional zones, such as the EECI, EEC of Innovation. It would be the area to facilitate the frontier research in the future. And we also have the Digital Park Thailand, the Electropolis, and Medical Hub in the EEC. Apart from the EEC, many other locations will also be developed to facilitate different types of investment. For example, we have a special economic zone in 10 provinces along the border of Thailand in order to facilitate the labor-intensive industry or border trade activities. And we also have a science park, digital park, and food Innopolis for research and development and digital activities. Investment in these targeted areas will be eligible for additional incentive from the BOI. Third, the targeted industry and technology. The fourth industrial revolution of Korea is in line with the Thailand 4.0 policy, which will transform Thai industrial sector and Thai economy as a whole into innovation-driven economy. Our government identified 12 targeted industry to serve this policy. These include the upgrading of 5 existing industries, namely the agriculture and food, tourism, automotive, electronics, and petrochemical. And at the same time, we would like to building up the 7 new industry. For example, the bio industry, healthcare and medical, digital, automation, aerospace, defense, and education. Our government has just deregulated the education law to allow foreign university to set up the campus in Thailand with 100% foreign ownership. And in addition to the targeted industry, we also promote the development of 4 core technologies, namely biotech, nanotech, advanced material, and digital technology. So as Korea is a global leader in technological and innovative development, so there are plenty of opportunity for Korea to join hands with Thailand and enjoy benefit from our policy. And as a representative from Thailand, which chair ASEAN this year.
One of the main objectives behind Korea's New Southern Policy is to diversify its economic partners and mitigate the risk of dependency on any single country. As such, while all the 3 pillars of the policy, peace, prosperity, and people, are equally important, economic cooperation is commonly viewed as the most substantive pillar of the 3. Indeed, it's also the area where we have witnessed remarkable growth over the years. Many businesses have turned to ASEAN for new opportunities, in addition to the major companies such as Samsung, LG, SK, Lotte, CJ, and Hyundai, who have expanded their projects in Southeast Asia. Almost 1,300 new Korean enterprises were established in ASEAN in 2018 alone. With many Korean companies entering the ASEAN market, Korea's cumulative investment reached $61.9 billion in 2018, making Korea the 4th largest source of foreign investment in Southeast Asia. The increased investments have led to a surge in trade volume, of course, which recorded $160 billion last year, making ASEAN Korea's 2nd largest and Korea ASEAN's the 5th largest trading partner. Our trade volume with ASEAN countries, which is $160 billion, accounts for 7% of our total trade volume with foreign countries. but out of our trade surplus actually reached $70 billion in total. But our trade surplus with ASEAN was about $40 billion actually. So it shows how important it is, for Korea's trade with the ASEAN is actually for the growth of Korean economy. I didn't want to tell Madam Secretary and to other ASEAN friends here, but this trend is expected to continue, and I say this with sufficient grounds. The Korean government is actively supporting businesses who wish to invest in ASEAN by providing networking platforms and information services. Organizations such as the Ministry of SMEs and Startups and Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency, not to mention the ASEAN Korea Center, are offering various support and services to assist businesses that are seeking partnership with ASEAN. Plans to increase ODA vis-à-vis ASEAN and the expansion of Global Infrastructure Fund will boost the much-needed construction and infrastructure projects in the Mekong region. The President's visit to ASEAN countries also opened doors for further cooperation, not only in trade and investment, but also in energy, smart city, as well as in science and technology. Specifically, collaboration in science and technology through institutions such as VKIST, Vietnam-Korea Institute for Science and Technology, will take the Korea-ASEAN cooperation to a whole new level. Moreover, as the ASEAN economy continues to grow based on the strong growth rates of its member countries and progress in ASEAN economic community, this will open yet more areas of cooperation with Korea. Indeed, two sides are well on their way to reaching the goal of $200 billion in total trade by 2020. This, however, is not to say that ASEAN-Korea partnership is not without challenges. The ongoing trade conflict or trade war between the United States and China has weighed on the global economy, creating greater uncertainties. A rapidly rising global protectionism is beginning to threaten decades of hard work to liberalize trade. As the uncertainties and tensions continue, the current global supply chain may be significantly disrupted and eventually usher in a very different economic order that rests rather on protectionism than norms of international free trade. As smaller ASEAN and Korea, for now, the increasing risks associated with the U.S.-China tension may further prompt many Korean companies that originally invested in China to relocate their factories to the ASEAN region, most notably in Vietnam and Indonesia. As the trade conflict deepens, this relocation trend will undoubtedly be accelerated and is likely to continue in the coming years as China's value as an investment destination diminishes. The increased level of investment to ASEAN will also boost the demand for imports and exports, leading to an increase in trade between ASEAN and Korea. However, if the tensions persist and the trade war slows down China's growth, the ripple effect of China's economic downturn to this region can be detrimental. For this reason, it is crucial that economies of both ASEAN and Korea build resilience through stronger partnerships and further future-oriented cooperation, including in the area of fourth industrial revolution. I'm a firm believer in the positive effects of increased investments and this contribution in strengthening and expanding economic partnerships for the benefit of all parties. For this reason, the ASEAN-Korea Center organizes a number of investment and market research missions every year to ASEAN countries. We recruit potential investors and help them find business opportunities in ASEAN. Since 2013, the center has also been hosting ASEAN Connectivity Forum, which brings to the attention of potential Korean investors some of the key infrastructure projects in ASEAN. The center also hosts ASEAN trade fairs in Korea to showcase ASEAN products to the Korean markets. The fairs have been quite instrumental in facilitating import of ASEAN goods into Korea and have helped, albeit little by little, in addressing the long-standing trade imbalance issue. Overall, the new Southern policy has created an extremely favorable environment, especially for businesses in Korea and ASEAN to bolster their partnership. And this year, with the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit in Busan in November to celebrate 30 years of our successful dialogue partnership, even more momentum will be created for further cooperation as ASEAN and Korea together plan for the next 30 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Lee. We're going to move swiftly along to Mr. Choi.
Thank you, Julie. First, I'm sorry about I'm not good at English, so I'm speaking in Korean.
Please use your receiver.
Please take a receiver. 네, 저는 그 코리아 스타트업 포럼의 이제 대표를 맡고 있고요. 코리아 스타트업 포럼은 한국의 스타트업들 약 900여 개가 참여하는 비영리 사단법인입니다. 그래서 초기 스타트업부터 유니콘 스타트업까지 함께 모여서 활동을 하고 있고요. 제가 오늘 말씀드리고 싶은 부분은 이 신남방 정책과 관련해서 한국과 아세안의 그 경제적 협력에서 스타트업 그 생태계 간의 협력의 중요성에 대해서 말씀드리고 스타트업을 중심으로 경제 협력을 확대해 나갔으면 좋겠다는 제안을 드리고자 합니다. 네, 유니콘 스타트업이라고 이제 대부분 알고 계실 텐데 그 비상장 상태에서 이제 스타트업 창업해서 그 $1 빌리언 이상의 그 기업 가치를 가진 기업들을 그만큼 희귀하다는 의미에서 유니콘 스타트업이라고 하는데요. 이 그림을 보시면 2011년 정도부터 하나둘씩 전 세계에서 등장을 하기 시작합니다. 잘 알고 계시는 우버라든지 에어비앤비 같은 기업들이 등장하고요. 이 그림의 마지막 끝은 2017년인데 2017년쯤 가면 워낙 많은 유니콘들이 등장해서 어떤 기업인지 더 이상 알아보지 못할 정도의 그런 그 많은 유니콘 스타트업들이 전 세계적으로 폭발적으로 증가하고 있습니다. 네, 그래서 12인사이츠의 집계를 보면은 지금 현재 전 세계에 그 350개 정도의 그 유니콘 스타트업이 그 1,200조 이상의 그 기업 가치를 가지고 있는 걸로 나오는데요. 이거는 불과 한 6개월 전과 비교해도 한 50개 이상이 증가한 숫자입니다. 네, 그래서 사실은 이게 그 미국과 중국 중심으로 이런 유니콘 스타트업 또 데카콘이라고 해서 이제 10 빌리언 이상의 그 기업 가치를 가진 곳들이 그 늘어나고 있는데, 지금 그림을 보시면 원이 이제 기업의 크기이고 원 하나하나가 이제 기업의 숫자입니다. 그래서 미국과 중국 중심으로 성장하고 있긴 하지만 영국이라든지 인도라든지 또 그 외 지역에서도 굉장히 의미 있는 성장들이 지속이 되고 있고요. 이거는 잘 안 보이실 텐데 1위부터 10위 정도의 그 이제 기업들 그 유니콘 스타트업들을 표시한 건데, 역시 이제 그 중국이나 미국의 그 스타트업들이 대부분 차지하고 있는데, 여기 9번째로 보시면 싱가포르의 그랩, 그 사업은 이제 인도네시아에서 더 많이 확장을 하고 있습니다만 여기 국적은 이제 싱가포르로 되어 있는데요. 그랩이 이제 전 세계 그 유니콘 스타트업 중에 9번째에 올라 있습니다. 굉장히 의미 있는 성과고요. 이런 이제 전 세계의 그 스타트업에 대한 투자는 지속적으로 이제 증가하고 있고, 특히 후기 그 레이스 스테이지에 대한 투자가 늘어났다고 하는 거는 그만큼 이제 스타트업들의 사이즈가 커져 나가고 있다는 의미로 보입니다. 그리고 또 오늘 주제와 관련해서 아시아에 있어서의 투자도 2013년도에는 전 세계 투자에서 14%에 불과했는데 2018년에는 37%, 3분의 1이 넘는 투자가 아시아 지역에서 이루어지고 있고요. 우아 브라더스 같은 이제 그 기업이 이제 포함이 되어 있고요. 한국 같은 경우에는 이제 그 어떤 스타트업에 대한 투자가 계속 지속적으로 늘어나서 작년에는 이제 그 3조 4천억 정도의 투자가 일어났고요. 이거는 지속적으로 증가할 걸로 이제 예상이 되고 있습니다. 또 한국 정부는 최근에 제2차 벤처붐이라는 그 정책 목표를 발표를 했고요. 이제 그 20개까지 그 유니콘 스타트업을 20개까지 늘리겠다는 어떤 목표를 발표를 했습니다. 사실은 한국에서는 2000년경에 1차 인터넷 벤처붐이 일어서 이제 그 이 네이버나 카카오 같은 기업, 네이버는 이제 그 태국 같은 데서 라인을 서비스하고 있는 기업이기도 하고요. 그리고 뭐 넥슨이라든지 NC소프트라든지 굉장히 의미 있는 그 이 스타트업에서 출발한 큰 기업들이 성장했는데, 그만큼 이제 이 스타트업을 중요하게 생각하고 그 유니콘 기업을 키우겠다라는 이제 목표를 가지고 있고요. 그래서 한국에는 이제 시리즈 A 이상의 투자를 받은 그 스타트업이 대략 500개 이상이 있고 10 밀리언 이상의 그 투자를 받은 기업도 134개가 있습니다. 네, 페이지가 빨리빨리 안 넘어갔어. 네, 한국에는 6개 지금 유니콘이 있는데요. 이 기업들을 보면 이제 마켓플레이스, 게임 컴퍼니, 푸드텍, 코스메틱, 핀텍, 엔터테인먼트, 이런 이제 다양한 분야에서 유니콘이 성장하고 있고, 마지막에 있는 빅히트는 그 세계적으로 유명한 BTS라는 엔터테이너를 키워낸 그런 이제 곳이 또 유니콘 스타트업으로 하고 있고, 그 넥스트 유니콘이라고 할 수 있는 기업들도 지속적으로 등장해서 그 20개까지 도달하는 것이 결국은 이제 시간 문제라고 보고 있습니다. 또 아세안 쪽을 말씀을 드리면, 제가 아세안 그 스타트업 생태계를 잘 알지는 못하지만 이게 그 아세안 그 지역의 6개 국가의 그 디지털 인구 2018년을 보시면 굉장히 의미 있는 성장을 하고 있습니다. 특히 이제 그 인도네시아라든지 베트남 같은 경우는 인터넷 사용 인구보다 모바일 사용 인구가 훨씬 많은, 그러니까 대부분의 이제 그 유니콘 스타트업이 모바일을 베이스로 해서 또 이제 새로운 기술을 베이스로 해서 성장을 하고 있는데, 이런 측면에서는 과거에 이제 인터넷이라든가 이런 보급은 아세안 지역이 늦었지만 모바일은 굉장히 폭발적으로 성장하고 있기 때문에 스타트업 생태계에 있어서는 아세안이 결코 한국에 뒤진다고 보기 어렵고, 한국은 점진적인 성장을 한 반면에 아세안은 세대를 뛰어넘는 혁신이 일어날 수 있기 때문에 어떻게 보면 더 큰 기회가 있다, 이렇게 말씀드릴 수가 있겠습니다. 네, 그래서 그 이제 아세안의 국가들이 창업하기 좋은 그 곳, 서로 이게 이제 그 US 뉴스 앤 리포트라는 곳에서 이제 월드뱅크의 자료를 활용해서 한 건데요. 여기 보시면 5위가 말레이시아고 4위가 싱가포르이고 1위가 타일랜드. Congratulations, 나리. 1위가 이 태국입니다. 네, 그래서 창업하기 좋은. 그 아세안 지역이 이만큼 스타트업을 하기 좋은 국가로 이제 그 자리매김하고 있다는 거고요. 아세안 지역에도 공교롭게도 지금 현재 12인사이트 집계에 따르면 6개의 유니콘 스타트업이 있습니다. 그래서 그랩이라든지 고잭 같은 경우는 이미 데카콘 그러니까 10 빌리언 이상의 기업 가치를 가진 어떻게 보면 이제 그 한국의 유니콘보다 더 큰 기업 가치를 가진 기업이 이미 아세안에서 등장했다라는 겁니다. 그리고 이제 스타트업의 중요성은 이런 기업들 간의 협력뿐만 아니라 스타트업은 이제 스타트업 에코시스템으로 성장을 하게 됩니다. 그래서 기업이 있고 또 앙트프르너가 있고 투자자들이 있어야 되고 또 기술이 있어야 되기 때문에 대학 같은 곳, 그 다음에 이제 정부의 어떤 지원 정책, 규제 혁신 정책, 그래서 다양한 이제 이해관계자들이 협력을 해서 성장할 수밖에 없기 때문에 굉장히 의미가 있다는 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다. 그래서 제가 결론적으로 말씀드리고 싶은 부분은 네, 우리가 왜 그럼 스타트업 에코시스템 간의 협력을 한 아세안 간에 해야 되는가? 저 세 가지만 딱 말씀드리고 싶은데요. 첫 번째는 같은 목표를 가지고 있다는 겁니다. 그러니까 이게 뭐냐면 지금 이 스타트업들이 만들어가는 그 서비스들은 4차 산업혁명 시대에 말하자면 이제 디지털 트랜스포메이션, 디지털 경제로 넘어가는 단계에 있어서 이 도달하고자 하는 경제적 목표가 사실은 지금의 그 개발 수준이 어떻든지 간에 결국은 이제 같은 목표를 하고 있기 때문에 협력이 용이하다는 겁니다. 그리고 두 번째는 이게 그 굉장히 동등한 파트너십을 이 대등한 관계에서 할 수 있다는 거죠. 그 어떤 이야기냐면 아까 말씀하셨지만 무역 같은 경우는 이제 무역 수지의 불균형 때문에 승자와 패자가 나뉘기도 하고 또 기존의 경제협력 모델은 이제 진출이나 투자를 하게 되면은 이제 동등한 레벨에서 투자를 한다기보다는 좀 더 개발이 많이 된 국가에서 좀 사양 산업이라든지 이런 것들을 이전시키고 공장을 이전시키고 생산 기지로 삼는다든지 아니면 밸류 체인 상에서 하위 파트너로 삼는다든지 또는 기업이 이전해 버리니까 이전해 버린 국가에서는 공장이 없어지고 일자리가 없어져서 경제적 피해를 입는다든지 이런 부분들이 많이 있었습니다. 근데 스타트업 생태계는 그런 것이 아니고 지금 한국과 아세안이 동등하게 사실은 한국의 이런 VC라든지 이런 게 결코 아세안보다 앞선다고 할 수 없고요. 아세안에 굉장히 좋은 펀드들이 이미 그 싱가포르를 중심으로 많이 조성이 돼 있습니다. 그래서 한국의 투자자건 스타트업이건 아니면은 그 여기에 생태계 참여하는 모든 사람들이 같은 목표를 가지고 동등한 관계에서 할 수 있다는 것이 굉장히 그 중요한 부분이라고 생각을 하고요. 그리고 이제 경제 협력의 범위가 그렇기 때문에 기업에게 그 머무는 것이 아니라 이런 그 투자에 대한 부분, 그 다음에 해외 진출. 한국의 그 유니콘 스타트업들이 요즘 베트남이라든지 말레이시아라든지 인도네시아 쪽으로 진출을 굉장히 많이 검토하고 실제로 많이 가고 있습니다. 또 마찬가지로 역으로 이제 뭐 싱가포르라든지 그 말레이시아라든지 타일랜드라든지 이런 데서 한국의 유니콘 스타트업에 투자하기 위해서 좀 고민을 많이 하고 있고 마찬가지로 한국 VC들도 그쪽에 투자할 수 있는 그런 기회들이 또 비즈니스 협력도 충분히 각자의 시장 상황을 잘 아는 그 기업들 간의 협력이 가능한 이런 부분이 이제 기회가 열려 있기 때문에 저는 전통적인 경제 협력 모델도 굉장히 중요하지만 스타트업 생태계를 중심으로 하는 부분들을 우리가 확장시켜 나간다면 한국과 아세안 간의 협력이 더욱 공고해지리라고 생각합니다. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Choi. I'm sure it's been very insightful for a lot of the young audience here are very much into digitalization and anything to do with that. Okay, we're going to move very swiftly along. We have about 15 minutes or so where we can ask some questions and discuss some of the top topics and issues that's been raised in this discussion. I'm going to start with you, Ambassador Albert. You did mention the trade deficit problem, but I think Ambassador Lee has sort of dispelled sort of the worries. So I'm going to touch upon this unevenness in implementation across the region, which has been mentioned a number of times with many of the panelists. Is there a positive role that South Korea can play in sort of narrowing that gap?
Certainly, I think I could I failed to mention the opportunities that are there. And I'm looking, and thank you for the discussion on startups, because the ASEAN Master Plan for Connectivity is going to be, or is already, a major activity in ASEAN in the pipeline, which consists, well, the overall idea is to connect ASEAN and connect ASEAN with the rest of the world. And this has three components. One is investing in infrastructure, which is physical connectivity, which gives you a lot of room what to do with as an area for investment. The second is institutional connectivity, which means putting groups, institutions, think tanks together, again, to achieve the overall aim to connect ASEAN. And the third is the people-to-people connectivity. And in relation to the people-to-people activity, there has been a very good focus on implementing the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which has the basic principle of leaving no one behind. And one of the major activities in ASEAN, after some years of study, is to support medium and small-scale industries in the region. This has really become a pet project, not only for the governments of the original members of ASEAN, but to connect the people who are in MSMEs, medium and small scale industries, with the partners in ASEAN. And interestingly enough, the entrepreneurial skills in the MSMEs are really dominated by women. I cannot fail but talk about women, because they are contributing to the very basic economic activities in ASEAN today. Vietnam has a very aggressive women's, it's called the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network. And they're spreading out very quickly and helping each other, again, under the umbrella of the Master Plan for Connectivity. And I think for Korea's new Southern policy, it's very interesting to look at this Master Plan for Connectivity. I find great opportunities for it on the three aspects, which is physical connectivity, meaning infrastructure, meaning digital connections, institutional connections, and people-to-people, which is basically a lot of entrepreneurial exchanges. And I would like to mention that we held in Jeju some years ago a summit of women entrepreneurs, and it was both an ASEAN and an APEC-related activity, and it was an amazing meeting of women entrepreneurs. And I think this is something that has not really been well exploited in terms of our relationship with Korea. Mm-hmm. We do this with some of our dialogue partners, but I would like to strongly recommend the linkages of MSMEs, especially women entrepreneurs in Korea. Of course, there is another area that has been opened recently, is projects in the BIMP IAGA. This is a sub-regional grouping which consists of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, which connects the southern part of the Philippines with Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia. And these are some of the wide-ranging opportunities. While I have described challenges, I thought I'd save myself and talk about opportunities, because certainly there is a lot of opportunities. And I welcome the work of the ASEAN Center, because we have been in touch, and because of the 70 years celebration of our bilateral relations, we have established an Korea-Philippine society that will do more on looking and exploring what can be done under the ASEAN Master Plan for Connectivity, or MPAC. We like acronyms. But I would sell very strongly projects under the ASEAN Master Plan for Connectivity.
All right, thank you very much, Ambassador. Should we move on to Mr. Narit? I mean, you have pinpointed in your opening remarks EEC as one of the promising area that Korea and Thailand and also other ASEAN countries can work on. But this is where China has vested interest as well. I believe that they are funding that high-speed rail that you just mentioned. Could this sort of spark rivalry between Korea and China?
Thank you for your question. Actually, all of these infrastructure development projects and investment opportunities that I just mentioned in my presentation, we are open for all. For the infrastructure development project, especially in the EEC area, all of them are the international bidding. We open for all foreign investors to join in the bidding process. And for the manufacturing sector or service sector, we as the BOI are trying hard to attract Korean investment to invest more in Thailand, especially in the new targeted industries, and as well as the education. We also would like to invite Korean Educational Institute to set up the campus in Thailand.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. Yes, Mr. Lim.
In fact, this is not a competition, rather it reinforcing the need for infrastructure development in ASEAN. As Delia was saying, connectivity is critical. I think we have a master plan rollout by the end of November. With the help of United Nations, we put up the infrastructure at high value, high quality regulatory aspect of it, which is very important to attract private sector investment. Secondly, our economic growth is around 5%. We're looking at another couple, 3 or 4 years at the range of 5%. Our next wave of economic driver will be very much on digital economy. We have put in place all the necessary mechanism. We have e-commerce agreement among ASEAN, the first in the region or in the world to have e-commerce agreement under ASEAN member state. Second, we're now rolling out the digital framework action plan for the whole of ASEAN, and we are creating an environment where ecosystem will exist in digital economy. Obviously, Indonesia and Vietnam and the rest of ASEAN will be very much looking at this as an important driver. We see 650 million, 300 million are digital literate and all using a mobile phone. And we believe that this will add to 200 billion by 2025, the potential for economic growth in ASEAN.
Thank you very much. We have, I think, time for maybe one more question, but since we've heard some comments from the ASEAN country, I would like to address this question to Ambassador Lee. You have mentioned a number of external factors, such as trade war being one of the challenges for New Southern policy, and it sure is hitting export-driven countries like Korea. But now that New Southern policy, it is one of the priority goals, priority policy, but is there a chance or a risk that the priority could change given the external factors that are facing South Korea in terms of not only trade war, but also protectionism, anti-globalization sentiment around the world?
I think that we should, continue with our spirit of New Southern policy stronger than ever, especially because there is a growing protectionist trend in the world, actually. So the U.S.-China trade conflicts actually, will probably affect the ASEAN and Korean economy to a substantial degree. But that's why we have to strengthen our economic ties, with ASEAN and India probably, because we need to, bolster our economic cooperation, to mitigate the effect of the, U.S.-China trade war and increasingly rising global protectionism.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. I'm just going to conclude this. I mean, I hope it was as informative as it was for me and for all our panelists here. I think we can all agree that the South Korea's new Southern policy is a journey. It's not just a one-off series of investment projects or isolated infrastructure program. And based on what our panelists have just shared with us today, a new Southern policy certainly offers tremendous opportunities in a wide range of fields and sectors. But if the policy is to really move on and offer more than just good and stable economic relations and be a true engine of widespread and also equitable growth, there needs to be, as our panelists here said, that emphasis on equal benefits, co-prosperity for all stakeholders, of course, underlying the importance of peace as well, as Mr. Lim pointed out, and creating a sense of community based on trust and respect. And should all of this become a strong foundation, I'm certain that we'll be looking at a new chapter of regional integration that unfolds successfully here, not only Korea, but also in ASEAN as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our esteemed panelists with a big round of applause. Thank you very much. And I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.